Hello everyone, and welcome to my end of the year sales video. Today I'm going to share with you some of the sales that I made the end of 2023 into the first part of 2024. It was a really great week. I had some really interesting sales, and so I'd like to share those with you. So let's take a look at our first item. I was selling quite a few Christmas ornaments even after Christmas this year. And this is a 1999 Hallmark keepsake ornament Barbie dressed as the Millennium Princess. I didn't know we had a Millennium Princess in power right now, but apparently that's it. So that one sold for $10.80. It was listed on October 25th. I listed a lot of ornaments in October, kind of anticipating Christmas, but this one actually sold right after Christmas, or just before, maybe on Christmas Eve. This one was listed in October of this year as well. It's a Looney Tunes Roadrunner ornament. I believe these were sold at Kmart at the time. Sold for $13.50. After Christmas, I put all my ornaments on sale for 10% off. So originally it was $15, but this one sold at $13.50. And the Spot Lifter Power Brush, these are a great selling unit. Usually, it did take me a while to sell this one. I listed it on August 8th of this year, and usually these kinds of appliances go pretty quick. Anything with a spot lifter is pretty hot right now. It's a good selling product. This is a little bit different model than the one that's really been very popular. You actually have to move it back and forth. The other one just kind of sits there on the spots and takes care of it for you. Next up is a set of Atari games. These are from the vintage 2600 Atari games, and you can see you got Frogger and Empire Strikes Back, Missile Command, all these kinds of games here, and that sold for $40. So that puts them at less than $10 each. So that's actually pretty good. I used to sell these games for quite a bit less. Next up is this sold actually quite quickly. I listed it on December 29th, and it had sold just a few days later. It was the Barbie Country Camper. Comes with a box and a couple of yellow chairs, and it was in pretty good condition. It was used. Almost all these toys are used. It's very unusual to find something this age that some child didn't play with, but it was in pretty good shape, and it came with the two chairs. There may have been other accessories that are supposed to come with it. I just didn't have them. I had the box, and the wheels were there and everything. So it was a pretty good sale, and it went to someone living not too far from me in Detroit. Here is a Star Wars lightsaber. This actually belongs to a friend of mine that I worked with in the Dearborn schools, and it's a Anakin Skywalker lightsaber. It's basically new in the box. I think I listed it as a new open box. But this one is my big sale for the week. It's $249. And then whatever the profits from it come out to be, that's what I'll be splitting with the owner. And then a set of picture cards. These are Empire Strikes Back Series 2. It's not a complete set. There's looks like there's 4 cards missing. This was listed in November, so it was only on eBay for about a month or so before it sold. Yeah, collectible cards are pretty easy to sell generally. Some of them have been sitting, depends on the subject of them and everything. And with that same set of cards, the same customer bought the Star Wars postage stamp collecting kit. And, it just doesn't have Star Wars stamps, spots for the stamps in there. It has basically all the stamps for near the year that it was published. So that's what that looks like. Comes with a certificate, and you even get a magnifying glass with it. And here is a set of 4 Longchamp, I hope I'm saying that right, crystal goblets. And this customer bought 3 of them. So that's all I have in this one. I've had these for quite a while. I've had these I listed them in August of 2023, and they're very nice. They don't have any chips or anything. I do have a few odd sets, like some of these have only 3 in them. I still have sets of like that, but that's a little bit harder to sell. Usually people want them in even numbers. So this person bought all of them, so they must have needed 12 glasses or 12 goblets. And then more trading cards. These are actually stickers that you would peel off. I'm not sure what the letters signify, if they're just supposed to be, your name, or if it spells out a word if you put them next to each other, whatever they are. But I did sell 2 of these cards. No, one of this particular one, excuse me, I stand corrected, only one. And over here is a Detroit Red Wings hat. Now, living near Detroit, I do get a lot of Detroit-related sports things coming my way. And this is actually, I believe, I thought it was maybe a child's hat, but I don't think it is. So it's in pretty good shape, It's still got the tag on it and everything, the sticker on the front. So, and it's got the official everything on it. It's got the NHL hologram. So this was a good buy right here. Actually, I think it came in a storage locker that I bought not too long ago. And this I bought at an auction. It's a Vietnam era survival knife. It's made in Japan. I'm not really sure what the history of this. If you watched one of my other videos, you probably saw when I was bidding on this item. And it sold for $50, and I believe I bought it for something like $12 or $13. So I came out okay on that one. And it just really has a very rustic look to it here. You see that there's a lot of wear on this end of the knife here. The blade's in good shape, even though, probably could use a bit of cleanup there and all. But, this is a very cool knife for someone that collects these kinds of things. Anytime I can get decent knives, I sell them. Knives always sell for me. I don't even think I have any in stock left anyway. So this is a Nintendo Pokemon Snorlax, and it's an actual beanbag chair. It's pretty big. I had difficulty fitting it into a 20 by 24 box. But I did manage to fit it all in there, and he was in pretty good shape here. There was this one had a couple of small dots on the bottom. It's not really a big deal. You can hardly see them. They may even come out if you wanted to clean them, I guess. But no, it's in some pretty good shape. I sold that to somebody. We kind of made a deal. It says 125. I picked up the shipping on it, so I get this thing out. It's big. It does belong to somebody else too. And I'll be splitting the profits with him, and he actually had 2 of them. So this one is actually even it's in very good condition cosmetically. There was a piece of foam that's loose inside, and I think that the foam may have gone in the back here on near his head or something, maybe to support his head. I'm not really sure what the foam's purpose was, but anyway, it's kind of floating around inside there, but it just still looks pretty cool. I imagine that people that buy these don't put them in their bedroom and sit on them. They're just kind of there as almost like a plushie. And this came in a set of Star Trek models. These are some vintage models. And these are just the decals for them. The models were not really worth anything. They were just in pieces, partially assembled, partially painted, and they were in pretty rough condition as it was. But I found that no one had used the decals that came with it, so I put those on, and they sold for $15. So I managed to kind of get something out of those models there. And this trilogy book, this is a vintage one. It doesn't even look like it's been read before. Of course, they do kind of yellow with age. $12. This came in a storage locker, and so I was always eager to get these out. I've had these listed. This is probably the oldest thing that's in there. I listed them September 12th of 23, and finally they sold. And this is LOL Dolls. It's got the surprise still in there. It's in pretty good shape. Here's a picture of the outside of the box. It's really not too bad. I'm not sure if someone's collecting them for themselves or if they're planning on giving it to a child, but they're pretty popular right now. And I was really happy to find so many of these in a locker that I bought recently. I normally, for like newer toys, I generally don't deal with them because I know enough about them. But after researching them and talking to some of my family members, they did tell me, say, "Oh, you might have something there." So I decided to list them, and I took a best offer. I think I had discounted them 10%, so I probably sold for $18. Because it just says cross out, it doesn't tell me. I could go look it up for you, but it's probably 18. I usually send everybody it follows at a 10% discount. And then here's a Blade Runner book. This is also vintage, sold for $25. Normally, books are not a big seller, but if you find the right ones, then they can be. Anything to deal with Blade Runner, Star Wars, not so much Star Trek. Sometimes Star Trek books are okay, but usually Star Wars books, those are good sellers. They're, especially if they're vintage ones here. This one was in really good shape. You see there's no marks really on it. I did take a side picture because it was it looks like that's kind of got a bend in it. But nothing that would take away from really from the value too much. That could be pressed out, I suppose. And then more in my series of mugs and steins. This is a 1980 Budweiser Clydesdale stein. It's a holiday themed. And when I was going through the grocery store near me, I've actually found that they still sell Budweiser steins. And you buy them, and they come with, I don't know if they came with beer or something with them anyway, but you could buy the steins at the grocery store. They're still selling similar ones, but this one's from 1980, which made it special. And I had another one that was from a different year that someone bought. They must have a collection of them, I imagine. And this one sold for $60, and the other one sold for $50 that I had. Here's more of these Longchamp glasses, the champagne version of them. These sold, I listed them on August 8th as well, and they sold fairly recently, so I wonder if they're trying to get them before New Year's Eve. They're very nice. And then this is also in the storage locker, the same one with the LOL dolls that was the Bratz Boys. This has never been opened. The box was in pretty good shape here, so I'm not sure what's going on with these, if someone is buying them as a collector piece or, people that collect toys, they collect all varieties of them, and so maybe they have a whole Bratz collection going on. And then here's a couple of video games. These are also for the Atari 2600. It's a Deadly Disc, Tron Deadly Discs, and the Adventures of Tron. And they're in good shape. Now, I listed these as untested, and which is really important because if you have no way of testing them, then you have to list them this way. But people will still buy them because generally they still work. Sometimes they need to be cleaned on the inside. The contacts need to be cleaned. Usually you can do that with a little rubbing alcohol and maybe a Q-tip or something like that. And then they generally work, even though they're quite old. Very, very few of them have I ever had that I plugged in. When I did have an Atari 2600, I could test them. Very few of them did not work. So, I list them that way. That way there's no issues when they say, hey, it doesn't work. Well, you bought it. I have it here. It's untested. So it's very important to put that kind of information in your listings. And then here's a Coca-Cola ornament. And it's in really good condition. Comes with a box. And I always put the box in, but it looks like it's been crushed a bit, the plastic. But other than that, the ornament itself is in good shape if you'll be putting it on your tree or displaying it somehow. And then we're going to go on to it says it's a genuine pork rind lure, but this is just the box for it. Just the box, which was in really good shape. I bought the box with a couple other boxes, and it came with a few other lures that were not really worth a whole lot. The boxes were worth more, obviously. This one, $40. I was just from buying the lot. I think I bought the lot for $7 from an auction. And just the one box paid for everything, plus I got a profit on top of it. And it has the number on the side. So someone has this lure, and they're looking for the box so they can complete the set. So that sold for $40. And then here's a set of Alien trading cards. There's pretty much a trading card for almost every popular movie that came out, especially in the 80s. They're always trying to merchandise these things somehow. And I don't collect cards, so I mean, I saw all these movies and everything, but I didn't collect all the memorabilia and things that go with them. And these are in really good shape. They didn't really have any use. No one put them in their bike spokes to make noise. I took a best offer, probably went for $18. Usually when someone follows one of my items, like I said, I would give them 10% off, which would probably be the case here. They paid $6.15 for shipping. Here's an R2D2 necklace, and it comes with a nice chain and everything. And this is also a vintage item sold for $15. And then here's a centipede for the Atari 7800. Now, I bought these games as a lot, and I wish I could get more of them because they sell rather quickly. I remember the Atari 7800 coming out back in the day. I don't remember it being particularly popular, so maybe it's more difficult to get these games. But for an Atari game to sell for $15 is kind of unusual. So this one was also was. I just said comes with instructions. It's untested, so hopefully everything works with that one. And then you can see the condition here. And then also it came. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, I sold all these eventually. That's right. So actually, they were $15 each. They could choose from all of them, but actually, all of them had sold. Not all at the same time though, but different times. And then a set of classic Nintendo controllers, those sold for $20. That's about the going price for these things. They are untested, but once again, if you're at all handy, there's a picture of the plugs. If you're at all handy, they're pretty easy to take apart, and you can clean the insides, and generally they'll work again. I've had these in the past and had to do a few minor repairs to them, but the buttons seem pretty solid now, so hopefully they're working okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this, everybody, and I'll be posting some more sales that are coming up. January is usually a slower month for me. Right around the end of December, sales had really picked up, and this was probably my biggest sales week for the year. It was the week between Christmas and New Year. So, there's something to be said about that. It generally works out that way for me. So, like I said, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you could please subscribe to my channel, I'd appreciate it, and I'll have more interesting finds for you coming up soon.